Well, everybody, the SEC has finally released their opponents for the 3 rivalry games that each team is going to play. And let me just say, the list is an absolute joke. We're going to have a full video breaking those down here shortly, so stay tuned for that video. But by the title of today's video, as you guys could tell, welcome to AHSAA Week number 6 Predictions. We, of course, are going to be predicting the games that are going to be played this weekend, talk about them, break them down, obviously, and give our predictions throughout the season. So, if you are into that, hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Last week, along the Gulf Coast, I went 14-3. Yes, you heard that correctly. I had a banger of a week when it came to predicting these high school football games, which brings my total record now to 48-17, which is equal to a 738 win percentage right there. So in the positives, that is what you like to see when it comes to predicting these games. Not a terrible record overall. Like I said though, before we get into today's video, hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Later today, we'll have an SEC schedule reaction video. And then tomorrow starts our interview week. We're going to be sitting down with a couple of commits. We'll talk to a couple of the teams as well. And it's going to be a fun week here on the channel. So stay tuned for that. Hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. And without further ado, let us go ahead and hop into these AHSAA Week number 6 predictions. Alright, so we only have 12 games this week in AHSAA along the Gulf Coast, which is absolutely wild to see, as there's usually a lot of games going on, but I guess a few teams do have bye weeks this week. However, our first game up is, of course, a Thursday night matchup between MGM and Baldwin County. Baldwin County, they've won a couple of games this year, yeah, but they've been struggling a little bit. I'll actually be over in Bay Minette tonight for the Spanish Fort JV game. That's a whole different story, though. However, I've got MGM winning this game, right? Their offense is legit. Last week, they won. I believe this week, they are looking to, of course, win again on the road against a very lackluster Baldwin County team, which is why I'm going to go with Mary G. Montgomery to get the job done. They're also ranked number 12 in the state right now, according to Max Preps, which is really good for their program, as their program has been on the rise for a little bit down here in the Gulf Coast. And I'm going to go with the MGM Vikings to get the job done on the road at Baldwin County. Next game up is Ums Wright at TR Miller. TR Miller undefeated so far to start the year. Ums Wright is 2-2. However, their only losses are to Viger and St. Paul. So when you look at the overall games that they've played, they've beaten the teams that they're supposed to beat. And now this is going to be a great test for them on Friday night. However, I'm going to go with the TR Miller in this one. Their offense is just really good, and I don't think that Ums Wright's defense is going to be able to keep up with them. I really don't, which is why I'm going to go with TR Miller, as they are also at home, and they will start the year out 6-0 on the season. McGill at Davidson. This is going to be a very interesting one because McGill is 6A, excuse me, and Davidson, they're a 5A school, right? But Davidson coming in, having the better record right now. They are 2-2 on the year, while McGill is 1-3 on the year as well. Give me McGill. I know they played Gulf Shores very close. They've been on some tight games with Daphne and teams like that. And I think they'll be able to get the job done because of the McGill offense. McGill's offense is way better than this Davidson offense, and I believe that the Davidson defense is going to be able to contain McGill's offense for a little bit, but McGill will break away and get the job done on the road at Davidson Friday night. Next game up is Fruitdale at Chickasaw. Give me Chickasaw just because I have no idea about either of these two schools, and they are the local one. So that's why I'm going to go with Chickasaw, as they should be able to get the job done at home against Fruitdale. The WNSP broadcast game of the week this week, Faith Academy at St. Paul's. Faith, 1-3 St. Paul's. I believe undefeated to start the year. If not, they have one loss or so in there to start the year. They looked really good these past few weeks. They have been playing really solid ball these first 4 or so weeks to start the year. St. Paul's defense, obviously led by Oregon commit Anthony Jones, 5-star, really good player, defensive lineman out of St. Paul's High School. Give me the St. Paul's Saints, as they should be able to get the job done against a very lackluster defense with Faith Academy. Their defense is not that good this year. Obviously, they only have one win to their name, which shows how bad that their defense really is. They have been allowing a lot of points in the games that they have been in, so pretty much every game has been a shootout for them. However, St. Paul's should be able to get the job done behind Anthony Jones, the Oregon commit, at home in that matchup. Bryant at Centronel. Give me Centronel. Bryant's been on the struggle bus a little bit lately, losing the past couple of games. Centronel, on the other hand, they have been rolling. I believe they're undefeated to start the year. Do not quote me on that one. However, I do think they should be able to get the job done at home against Bryant in that matchup there. Next game up, of course, is a big one, a rivalry matchup here. We got Spanish Fort at Daphne. Daphne's quarterback, Christian Seeger, transferred from Spanish Fort, by the way. If you guys did not know that, Spanish Fort, South Alabama commit Aiden Schamberger, they went off last week against Murphy High School. Daphne played a really tough game against Mary G. Montgomery last week and got the job done. They won on the last second, which it was just by far an insane game at Mobile Christian. They got the job done, and they are coming off, I believe, a undefeated season so far right now for the Daphne Trojans. Give me Daphne here. Obviously, Spanish Fort went there, but Daphne's team is just so much better this year. Christian Seeger, I believe, already has like 10 touchdowns within 4 weeks of the season. He's going to be getting a lot of looks from colleges and stuff like that here in the next couple of weeks, or in the next couple of years, since he's only a 2027 quarterback. And I believe Daphne will be able to get the job done at home against a very lackluster Spanish Fort offense. Choctaw at Cottage Hill Christian. Cottage Hill Christian coming off that big-time win over Excel. And it was just a blowout game from start to finish. Cottage Hill Christian was by far the better team. They are undefeated to start the year in 4A Region 1, or excuse me, in 3A Region 1. Give me Cottage Hill Christian, as they should be able to get the job done. Fairhope at Theodore. This is going to be a very fun matchup, and I'm thinking about going to this one over there in Mobile, but I'm not sure yet, just because I would like to go somewhere else. But this is going to be a fun non-region matchup, and a very important non-region matchup for both of these squads, right? Theodore is trying to gain some momentum there going into 6A Region 1 play. They did beat Spanish Fort. I believe they beat Gulf Shores as well. So they have beaten a couple of 6A Region 1 teams. This is a non-region game for them, right smack in the middle of region play. Same with Fairhope. They have been struggling a little bit. So Fairhope needs this win way more than Theodore does, but Theodore's backfield is legit this year, which is why I'm going to go with the Theodore Bobcats at home in that matchup. Moving on, we got Murphy at Williamson. Guys, give me Williamson. Williamson's off to a 5-0 start. Nothing is going right for Murphy over there. Sherman Williams is the head coach over there at Murphy High School. They will turn that program around here in the next few years or so, but right now, Williamson is by far the better team, and they will be able to get the job done. This is going to be a fun one. LaFleur at Jackson. Give me Jackson. Jackson's little tune-up game before they play St. Michael's. We will predict that game next week, which is just going to be an absolute banger of a matchup. However, I like the Jackson Aggies behind, of course, South Carolina quarterback commit Landon Duckworth, E.J. Correll, who did get injured in that last week's matchup at Baker. So, again, Jackson getting the job done. They should be able to get the job done at home against LaFleur. And then to round us out, we got St. Luke's at Satsuma. Give me St. Luke's in that matchup there to close out Friday night. I just think they're the better team, and that is why I'm going to be going with them. But you guys, let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Like I said, we will have a video breaking down the SEC future opponents for, of course, the 2026 seasons and beyond. So hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Thank you all so much for watching this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.